Hello, everyone, and welcome on to Indiana Esports Network as IEN for your faces some Smash Bros. Action. Coming at you here live on the scene. I'm D-Lo. Joined with me here in the booth, we got Sami Nami, and of course, our almighty eye in the sky, Taylor. Keep the prod lights on, that cam steady. You watching at home. Sami, how we feeling?
I'm feeling pretty alright, Theo. How about yourself? I think you seem pretty fit today.
Dude, I got a sheen of sweat on my forehead. I got my palms sweaty with anticipation and also from running home to get here. That's just because I'm so excited to see the level of talent that these young esports athletes can bring to one of my nearest and dearest games to my heart, some Smash Bros. Action.
Love to hear that here. I believe today we have the following teams. It is going to be, if I'm reading this right, St. Joseph High School versus Speedway High School. It's going to be the Huskies versus the Spark Plugs.
Canonical matchup that I cannot say I've gotten to witness on the battlefield. So we'll have to see what happens when a dog tries to bite onto the back of an engine. And hopefully Old Yeller will stay yipping and yapping. But nonetheless, we got some yapping to do as well about one of our amazing sponsors, and that, of course, is Zotac Gaming. I want to give a huge shout out to Zotac Gaming for supporting Scholastic Esports in Indiana. You can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out on social media. Make sure to join their community on the Discord, and don't you dare forget to use that hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag ZotacUSA when you post.
Of course. Now this is going to be our 4v4 crew battle here in the best of 3 series. First to win the 2 sets will come out victorious. Last time I was here, we were actually in for a long match because it went to the very end. All 3 were played down to the 4th players in each situation. Wow. Yeah, it was a heck of a time. I was blown away with the skill that the players were bringing forward to the table, and I gotta tell you, I had a big favorite out of the Little Max and the Luigi.
Little Mac's always fun to be seen. I mean, in general, when you go down to the, younger ages, oftentimes it's more about comfort rather than tier picking, which is why I personally do really enjoy watching at this competitive level, because people still have that whimsy. No one has had all the joy and fun of trying to pick the lowest tier character and just making it work the best possible. So I love that. And hopefully we're going to be able to see a bit more of that wackiness as we step into the arena. Like you said, crew battles, guys, that means, like Sami said, it can become a battle of attrition if members are kind of going stock for stock, or it can sometimes just be an absolute steamroll. It really does depend on matchups. Rock might beat Paper, or rather Rock might get beaten by Paper, but Rock can still crush Scissors.
Indeed, it potentially can, just with the right force applied. But we are just waiting for the teams to get themselves situated and ready to go here. Coming in for St. Joseph is going to be on the account of SJHS1 here, as we can see just over on the opposite side of the ring. So I think we're just waiting on the Spark Plugs to get into the lobby here so we can get things going. Who do you think we're going to be seeing here? Do you have any predictions for the opening potential character picks?
I mean, well, it is like we said in the sense there's Speedway on the runway. It is hard to predict because the fact that these characters, or these players, are just younger. They have more life to them. They have a bit more of that shine and sparkle in their eye. I think characters, though, that this age group is oftentimes attracted to. Sometimes I see the floaters. I feel like Kirby is a lot of times a very comfort character for a lot of kids. It's my favorite pick because I got on that character knowing just how easy it is to recover. So maybe some of these more green esports athletes that just had the Kirby as their kind of training wheels and they never wanted to get off the tricycle, I could imagine that being the case. But those who are starting to like get into the idea of tier picking, Pythra is a very common one. So is this Terry Bogard, but Mario is the tried and true red and blue. We're going to see him step up with a construction hat. He's getting ready for battle and making sure to watch out for fallen objects.
Indeed he is. You know what? You gotta love him putting in the work here. That is what he's all about as the game begins. Gonna be looking here for the start of these plays as there's 7 minutes on the clock for them to get rid of 3 stocks.
Well, instantly what I'm looking for is to see if there's combos here from this Terry Bogard. Already up air into rising tackle. Didn't connect, but the fact that they tried to even go for it tells me this Terry knows ball.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the big thing you're looking at here, look at how they're controlling the middle of the field. That's really important here as you then fight for the edge and setting up for that uppercut there, but not following up with the up air to try to combo it. After that 100% damage, that was an easy setup.
A lot of up smashes here that are being whiff punished. You gotta be careful if you're this Terry, but that could have been dangerous as well. Both of them are kind of just swinging for the fences rather than going for easy kill confirms. If this Terry Bogard knows ball, they'll know that jab, jab, power dunk is an easy kill confirm at this high of a percent, but so is that burning knuckle. That gets the first stock.
Yep, as you're going to be seeing there, St. Joseph not liking that they had to lose that stock early, but you know what? They did apply some good amount of pressure here onto Terry to begin with, so I think we're going to be looking for some quick and fierce fights as the go time is ready.
That's not good. There's no rage applied to this Mario. This Terry Bogard is not liable to die unless it's a big read. That forward gets you a bit of stage control, but what are you supposed to do to follow it up? I'd like to see this Mario trying to go for a kill off of maybe just a easy back air, something less committal than a rising fair for sure, because now that go meter's charged up and a Buster Wolf is incoming.
Yeah, you really got to be careful for the setup. Oh! One up smash? No, just missing it there. It's really going to come down to who makes the mistake. Oh!
Ow. That hurts. Right there. That Buster Wolf is already starting to show. And he's asking if you're okay. Clearly they're not. You can see as Mario is giving all the distance in the world, but the reality is you have no kill confirm options at range. That jab, jab into the flaming knuckle. One last Buster Wolf will certainly send Mario off that last stock, but a back throw finally gets Mario out of dodge.
Yes, it does, but I don't know if how long that's going to be lasting here, as I have to say this, Terry's playstyle is that they want to stay on the stage. They actually don't want to try to go for these edge guards over the Abyss here, and I think that's smart because I think they understand they don't have the greatest of recovery. They're really trying to set it up for that off-screen off the top, but it keeps hitting at an angle.
There's no reason for the Terry to leave the stage, you know? So, I mean, and you're right, they're pressing that advantage. They recognize that you want to keep your feet on terra firma, because that's where you can just spam these side Bs, and it's working. Even though they're not landing, as long as they're not being punished, why fix what ain't broke?
Yep. I'm not sure what the plan was for that offstage play there, but you know what? He's really just trying to set up for this hit. Nice parry there, and that's going to be the stock.
You gotta find a way to punish these burning knuckles. They are very punishable. Right there, okay, solid. The grab into another grab, but the combos are not there. It really should be a down throw at this percentage to find some early combo damage, or maybe an up tilt, but Mario can find such great up air strings, especially on a bi-platform level like PS2. The fact that we're not seeing these extensions is really costing a lot of mileage.
Yeah, most definitely is here. I mean, the big thing that I'm trying to see from the players, none of them are utilizing these platforms for or against one another unless it's just a slight dodge, because once a person gets up on that platform, that could be a real big opportunity for the setup here, or to put yourself to follow up as they're falling down from above. And they're just looking to just get a hit off one another. They're both blocking from a distance, finally going to get that grab there, but we're set up in the same situation where they're just kind of juking each other out.
It's a lot of these neutral Bs in neutral to try to pressure someone to come in. It's a run-up down smash, does not find the mark in the auto turn. is going to allow Terry to get the double jab, but does not find the power duck right after. 104 here for the Mario. And again, it's crew battles, which means you really want to try to get the second stock off Terry, even if you can't get the victory.
No, definitely. Because, oh! That could have done him in, but he needs to recover here off of this edge.
That's tragic. Definitely had the space to recover, but maybe just kind of flubbed the timing a little bit. The super jump punch just does not have infinite range, and unfortunately Mario going to fall down. At least now you know how Yoshi feels like when you jump off his back.
Oh, that's cruel, man. I think Mario's gotten a little better these days.
Yeah, maybe a bit more ethical, but nonetheless, you know, it does not wash you clean of the sins, the blood still on your hands. But right now, Terry needs to maybe get in the shower after that one because he's looking awfully muddy, awfully grimy after some of those plays. And 2 stocks left to play with, 2 Sami. That's still quite the threat.
Oh, most definitely is. I mean, I'd be looking here, how are you going to be countering this, Terry, right? And maybe it's not that big of a thought process against Terry's. I see you giving me that look. Let me explain here, right?
No, by all means.
So this, exactly, yes, the Pyramithra.
Yes.
This is perfect here to play against Terry, who has not much confidence off stage. While that is huge factor for range and close combat to play in here.
The fact that you have these disjoints, sorties, can just easily outrange Terry's normal options and not allow him to hopefully make the space that he wants to get those jabs that lead to so many combo options. So if this Pyra and Mithra are playing it smart, they're going to make sure to keep him at the extension of that sword. But already an early Photon Edge in neutral tells me that this could be trouble. 41% built up quick.
Yeah, that's a big hit to start, and it's only going to get larger here. Look at how they get it at the end of that animation there for the hit. Following up, we're already just below 100%. Oh no, the fail recovery. And he's taking no damage.
0 to death, but not necessarily through his own means. An unfortunate SD there. A second time we've seen a member of St. Joseph just not quite obey the necessities of that recovery. But now that the Pyre, a bit more powerful options, that shield's looking low.
Indeed it is. You know, it does make me wonder, seeing how the players are playing this into Terry here, maybe this might not have been the move to make quite yet. I mean, on paper, yes, it is the exact one to go to, but the playstyle is not fitting into this puzzle here.
That's exactly the issue. It's that you have what on paper makes sense, but in execution is unfortunately getting executed instead. Terry's got the headman's axe, and bodies are starting to drop, heads are starting to roll. It's looking a bit rough, but the Burning Edge could get you a bit of space. But the issue is you close the distance with the roll, and it's an instant grab punish.
Yeah, the thing about once you do that blade throw, the character forces themselves to go and catch it when it's done, so it does leave them vulnerable as they go to retrieve. A lot of characters in Smash actually have that vulnerability applied to them, like King K. Rool, as well as big moves, Falcon, I'm losing his name, but the Dark Lord from Legend of Zelda.
Ganondorf. Bingo.
Ganondorf, thank you.
A lot of punish windows here. Pyra, though, can certainly get some unpunishable options as long as she, again, uses the full extent of the sword, but instead it's the full extent of that burning knuckle. Sorry, Pyra, your flames just don't burn quite as hot.
Nope. Oh, this could be it right here.
Big back throw. Has control, but the Photon Edge actually does poke through stage. Unfortunately, secures that go meter. Are you okay? Is the question that they're going to have to answer, and I feel like it's going to be a resounding no. The Flaming Knuckle, though, does whiff. Can they finish it off?
Oh, we're going to have to see. Just barely survive with that stock there on the edge, but no, he rolls right into the blade.
Another Flaming Edge, another one after another, but again, this Terry's going to start to learn your wily ways and tricks. Keeps that shield held. They know the next one could mean death, and you want to hold on to as many stocks as possible, if not to ensure victory, but maybe just for aura as well. Able to recover back to stage safely. And again, the last hit, unfortunately, unshields just a bit too early. It's going to cost you a stock, Terry.
That it is. He's just making a mistake, mistaking how quickly that blade goes away. It cost him a stock he really could have gone without losing.
Yeah, that was not necessary at all. Unfortunate, to say the least, but nonetheless, you've taken out 2 players. You really are, at this point, nitpicking, and I am nitpicking too. If you're going to say that, oh, well, needed to get more, he's doing great, but I do agree. There are definitely some things, if you're looking back in the VOD at, that Terry's kind of being a bit too liberal with approaching when, again, your opponent is using the same move over and over again, there are means to adapt. And that's what separates the great esport players from the good ones. Your ability to change, evolve, develop in the middle of the game.
Yeah. I mean, now we're going to be going in here one stock to work with. Anything to knock down could be helpful here. And I believe this is Hero. I haven't seen this hero actually utilized in competitive play.
Oh, huge fan of Hero. It's literally the mystery box from Black Ops Zombies. Just like, what are you going to get? Is it going to be a ray gun or is it going to be a pistol? We'll find out shortly as the two stocks drop. Hero's got some great options to instantly delete a stock. There's Magic Purse. There's literally the whack, which you roll the dice to potentially insta-kill your opponent. But it also has the Kamikaze, which could be your own end. So this Hero's got any hope to try to bring St. Joseph out of this rut, they really got to start off strong, and it's not starting that way at all.
No, it is not here. Ooh, big slash coming on in there. And zooming away. Seems they're trying to figure out what their character's doing here with their pretty much skill abilities. The start, I mean, I'm certainly trying to figure out what their game plan is here, because it looks like Terry has full control of the field right now.
Oh, look at these options. I see a thwack, but they're not a range, buddy. It's an instant kill option, but you need to get him a bit more close in order to actually utilize it well. The Frizzle is ready. That could be a really good damage option, but unfortunately the Kazap in the middle of the offstage abyss going to use a lot of MP and also use a lot of time. They sink down and die at the first stock.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is a player that could actually play well, but they're a bit worried about their abilities here from the menu selection each time they go to look at it. I think that actually buys too much time for Terry to punish.
I mean, this game's just a punish of themselves. You got to make sure that you are properly utilizing your mana meter and using that resource to ensure you have enough left in the tank to recover back. A lot of smash attacks. When, again, you have a sword, make sure you're using that as well. This Terry does not have the same range you do, but Hero just can't find the space.
Yeah, biggest thing here is about tempo. And right now, Terry's just building up that damage slowly. Oh, the uppercut to the final screen.
Took that one on the chin. That's going to hurt in the morning. The thwack comes through, but luck is not on your side. A good F smash, though, could potentially buy you the kill. Could crackle slash the wrong way. It's a good power dunk to evade that attack. This Terry does not want to go down just yet.
No, definitely not here. Speedway is looking very confident here. And I mean, Terry has done already a phenomenal job getting two players down, and now a potential third here. It's really coming down to whether or not they survive. Was that a counter?
Now another Buster Wolf. That go meter is a sword, and there's going to be enough left in the tank to get the recover. But the question is, do you have enough left in the tank to finish the job? Hands bloody, and it's going to get a bit more on top. One last fist to the jaw. Hero's out for the count.
Wow. Terry is putting in the works here. They are in the shop, and they are just going through the list.
It's been rough so far if you are a fan of St. Joseph. Just having a difficult time trying to get around what this Terry wants to do, which is get in your face. The issue is you need someone who can zone and zone properly. Again, these are two characters between the Pithra and the hero that can work against a Terry. You just need to make sure you're utilizing your disjoints well. Keep him at the tip of your sword. If you let him close that distance, if you let him get on the inside, slip in between, throw some jabs, it's all over from there, Sami.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, at this point, if I'm St. Joseph right now, I'd be looking at... See, we're seeing a lot of DLC characters, right? Being utilized here.
Go to the OGs!
Yes, just go to the OGs. Piranha Plant is not quite what I was talking about, but you know what? Let's see how this works out.
I love Piranha Plant personally, and I again say that this on paper has potential, though Piranha Plant is quite a low tier pick due to the fact that even those projectiles they use are rather slow, and on PS2 you don't get the most space, but if you play around these platforms properly, use that Patui well, Piranha Plant can be quite the pain and nuisance to deal with, and the reality is you only have one stock to deal with. The problem is, though, at the same time, Sami, this Terry's built up so much momentum and aura, this dude's just oozing confidence at this point.
Indeed. I mean, he took a look at that projectile across the stage just to kind of gauge their opponent. And I think he's actually respecting the Piranha Plant a lot more. But that respect is quickly out the window here as you've seen him close the distance.
Roll behind and go for a jab. I've seen that already twice from the Piranha Plant, and not only is that rough because you're going against a Shoto character who auto-rotates, but I think as well the Speedway player is starting to recognize that and punish appropriately. Using that Poison Cloud, though, as a smoke screen and then launching a Patui from it, I will never get tired of this character.
No, that's great tactical usage there because, yes, it can be very simple on paper. They're either going to do it or not.
Nice!
That's the rock, paper, scissors you have to work with.
No! A shield break into a dash attack is tragic. That could have been a stock. That could have been it, and now you might just be dead. Is not going to fall just yet, but you could have used the Poison Cloud there. The fact that it doesn't cause a flinch as the first stock goes down. Poison Cloud doesn't make a flinch. If there's a shield break, you really want to use that Poison Cloud to build up the damage and use an F smash to send Terry flying.
Yep, but oh, that was a great parry there by the plant. And getting there with the spike ball. They're trying to get this up smash here. Not going to find it as a big damage is dealt there to the plant, who barely recovers on the edge.
That Buster Wolf is dangerous, man, but it's a down air in response. The big fat stomp, and finally the long stem strike finishes off. A little taunt at the end there just to show how fritzy you're feeling. Get out of here, Mario. PP's the real star.
Oh, I love that. That is a funny winner's animation there. It's a neat thing that they do at the end of these stages here each time, how they just kind of change things up from the traditional Smash games that I'm used to growing up with.
Smash is a evolving beast, and so far we've only gotten to see one player across the evolution of this series from Speedway. Now we get to see more. I'm curious if that is like the tip of the iceberg. There's various strategies of crew battles, right, Sami? Do you put your first player as the best one, or do you save them as the anchor? That's the question. Seems like I got the doctor here to give us a good old checkup, but I don't think this Piranha Plant's got the same vitals you might be used to.
Oh, it's a living being, so it's got to have something here. Big thing I'm concerned about is this is a Mario here. You got to understand, it's a Mario versus a generic Piranha Plant. This is going to be scary, and this Mario's smart because he actually has a doctorate.
Very true. Well, I'm not going to tell you right now, Sami. I've met plenty of people with PhDs that are gosh darn dummies. So we'll see if this doc is a quack. Did he get his degree with ChatGPT? We'll find out right now.
Oh, them's fighting words right there. For his PhD has been held since the 80s here. And you know what? We're already almost at the 80%. Make that 90% now in damage. He is just putting in the works here right now, and it seems like Piranha Plant doesn't quite have the movement they were looking for prior to.
Are we sure this is not just the same player on a different character? These Speedway guys are making good on the name. They want to end this quick. The roll behind into the up smash is Mario Classic. Goes for the super jump punch, but maybe a bit off the mark. Why not try it again? Second time, not the charm.
No, but I like the idea. The hard part about when you go for those long bites, it does leave your base very vulnerable.
There's super armor on the move, but you're definitely still liable to get whacked right after. And it's also, like you said before about the Wizard Punch of Ganondorf and Falcon Punch of Falcon, there's a lot of end lag afterwards. If you shield it properly, there are appropriate punishes. But this Mario so far, much like the Terry Bogard of the same team, is very much about getting up in your face. And this Piranha Plant is letting them do that. They're marching to the beat of their opponent's drum.
That they are. Great crunch there. This could get a stock off them, but they need to play it smart. Oh, they let him get too close in this situation while they were setting up for the tornado spin. Gonna bring it back with some chomps here, but just missing the finish through.
Too many rolls. This is not a bakery, folks. This is a Smash match. You gotta make sure that you are also staying safe while not necessarily burning out the staleness of those rolls. The more you do it, the more you get that stale vertical or invincibility option. There's less iframes. So the fact that we're seeing so many rolls means that these characters are getting more and more vulnerable, and as well as the percents climbing 140 to 87. Wowee.
Indeed. Now Mario's going to be one trying to stay alive from off stage, but goes down in stock. I mean, he's not really too worried about this, right? Because all you need is just one stock, and that's going to be the first game.
One last dash attack. Try to get a bit more off, but now you're off the stage. The question is, how do you recover? It's a big up smash. If they let that rip a bit earlier, they might have actually been able to catch the long stem strike. But this Piranha Plant has not been able to really get much breathing room, has not been able to use those Patuis at range. Big down smash charge, but you fell right for it. The breakdance moves break that pot in half, and it's going to be Speedway all the way.
Indeed. You know what? I love seeing that move there. Not many people know of it, but there was, at one point, a Mario Dance Dance Revolution game, and I think that was a big inspiration from it.
That dude knows how to break it down, and definitely also break some skulls. I thought the Doctor's supposed to put people back together, but it seems this one's maybe not taking the Hippocratic Oath just yet. Nonetheless, surgical precision. That's how Speedway play it.
You know, sometimes you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet here, and you know what? Broken bones are just part of anatomy.
Very true. And unfortunately, we got to try to figure out a way to get these chickens to hatch. How does our friend, our team on the side of St. Joseph recover from this? It could be an issue of order, but I'm not going to lie. Just seeing the skill level so far of the two members of Speedway, and that's only half of Speedway's team. It's going to come down to game adaptation. You need to play things safer. You need to play your own game's rhythm, not your opponent's.
Yeah. And I do want to point one thing out, because I've seen it from doing a number of these matches week after week now. Not a lot of heavies. Not a lot of heavies being utilized here between these matchups. And I think that could actually be a game changer here as we're looking to go into the Hollow Bastion here for our next map selection.
This is interesting. Okay. So we already have a bit of a change up in terms of the characters. And this is actually what I mentioned before. Comfort, right? Look how soft, pliable, adorable that Kirby is. And also good at recovering. And given that in the first half of the last set we saw a lot of St. Joseph unfortunate SDs, Kirby is going to ensure that we at least reduce the number of that.
Indeed. I mean, the nice thing about Kirby, despite being a lighter character, actually has a lot better recoverability. And those light hits are followed up with a high series of consecutive hits, which makes it all the more better for continuous jabs into a finishing move.
Well, look at this. Now Kirby's all dripped out. That's got to feel good. And already I will also say the fact that we're seeing a marked improvement in this matchup. Kirby also likes to brawl and can do so far more efficiently than other characters. So I like the fact that we said, all right, you want to tussle? Thanks two to tango. Let's do it.
Yes, it does. And you know what? We're playing with salsa. Fires a burning, as Terry's going to be the first one to lose stock this time around.
Okay, I'm perked up right now. You have my attention. The fact that we're seeing such a marked improvement here from St. Joseph's, maybe it just tells me they were using their secondaries before. That right there, it's the forward throw into a forwarder. This player knows ball.
Yup. And you know what? I think that's because Kirby's spherical. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but you know what? He's fallen from many a heights and bounced back just fine.
Valid. Honestly, so true. That's going to be a nice little up throw. Tax on a bit more percentage. 115. This Kirby is liable to die for really any jab, power dunk, or rising tackle combo, but instead it's the down smash, and that just means this Kirby's building up even more rage. That's dangerous, though.
Yeah, you got to really be careful around these edges because he's trying to set up. Actually, will he get the hit that time around despite the shielding, but will lose the stock in the end for the follow-through punch.
Oh my god, I love the fact that they're going for these inhales because they want to develop a way to pressure Terry in the neutral. By getting their power wave, that neutral B, it forces Terry to approach them, which is not really what he wants to do, especially at a percent deficit. But that deficit's been made up rather quickly. Already 54 to 76. Good job by this Terry to catch on up. Unfortunately, as soon as I say it, F smash instantly knocks off second stock.
Indeed it does. And you know what? The interesting thing, like you said, they were trying to go for that ability copy, but instead they just went pure Kirby strats here, where you're trying to play to not give that ability over. Now it's going to be taken, and now you have to deal with it again. Unless you don't, because that's going to be the final stock there.
SD this time the way of Speedway. It's all topsy-turvy. Are we sure that we're watching the same teams? I don't know what's going on. I'm getting deja vu, but like all reversed. It's Freaky Friday, but on a Wednesday. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Good movie. Very good movie, honestly.
Huge.
Recommend
Huge fan.
watching it if you haven't seen it. Viewers, it is very good.
Big fan of it as well,
said,
Freaky starring Vince Vaughn. But now we get to see the movie on the field here, Sami, and so far, I'm seeing cinema. I'm seeing cinema on the side of St. Joseph. This could be the comeback.
And that's a bit early for cinema to talk. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to be a diehard fan here, but you know what? It's still the beginning, and Mario is going to be coming back to the play. Who is the better Nintendo mascot?
Oh, great question. Kirby is the answer. Guys, can we cancel the match? I don't think we need to play this one out.
I don't think so either.
We figured it out. Nonetheless, back to Hollow Bastion, and this Kirby, Stone Cold Killer, can turn into stone. See it right there? Thwomp. That's canonical right there. Mario probably saw that I got PTSD.
Yes. Listen, that mini thwomp from the castles, that is the hardest castle level from the Super Mario World.
Dude, these up air extensions, everything that we asked for has been wrapped up in a Christmas present for this Kirby. And it's a big fist to the face, only 6% from that inhale. And actually, Kirby low-key dug their own grave. By using that inhale, they dragged Mario closer to them to deliver the blow.
Wow. That is some great reads there. Because you have to be able to learn from watching that prior match and be able to apply that technique immediately into here where your opponent isn't expecting it.
Everyone's just got the biggest shoes. Kirby got these size 22 Tims, and Mario's going to be eating some feet for a little bit. But only 56% is going to live for a little bit more time. Kirby opts for the stage control to back throw, but can't really take advantage. A good dash attack, though, grants him the stage presence back. These protecting fireballs are allowing Mario to land very easily. Kirby's got to watch out.
Indeed he does. As we're just playing around this edge here, Mario has to be very careful. He wants to be able to actually take this last stock off of the Kirby. They're like, okay, what are we going to do here? We're just kind of dancing.
Ooh!
To the stratosphere. This one's out of this world.
Mario's no longer in the construction uniform, but Kirby brought the hammer. Mario brought the fist and is going to put it on down. Evens it up pretty handily. That's solid work there on the way of Speedway.
All right, hot take here from production. Rob's the best Mario mascot. Do we agree?
Is that Taylor? Taylor, go home. Go home, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about. Kirby's absolutely... Have you played... When's the last Rob game you guys have played? Audience here, like, no one that is playing today even knows what Rob is actually from, all right? They just know him from Smash.
Super Smash Bros?
No, hold on. You want me to drop some history real quick? All right. Everyone, get out your history books, folks. Rob is actually from their own gaming console. They were a gaming accessory during the video games crash of, I think, the 1980s. And they were released as their own accessory to try to bring things back. And they succeeded. It was marketed as a toy and done very well to get Nintendo's feet back underneath them. So an icon in the economic history of video games. In terms of the commercial plot of those video games, well, that's something else to be said. That being said, Enderman now on the field.
Yeah, now you got two big marketable characters here on screen between Minecraft and Mario. And with the Enderman here, this is actually a very different kind of play style because once again, we're seeing a bit more of kind of this weird extra ability that comes into play for the fight here. But I honestly love it. I like the idea that it has, but unfortunately, Mario was dodging everything that has been thrown at him.
That's just not the good look you want to see for this Enderman because you want to be camping out. Again, these characters, they take advantage from having space, especially Steve, and you didn't have enough space between you and that edge to actually latch on. That is an unfortunate SD because you could have used that Elytra a bit earlier.
Yeah, you got to be able to react very quickly to these situations in order to make sure that you can actually sustain yourself. Now going in there with the anvil and fire. Great setup for the combo. For that up, just needs to get the right materials here to send in for a final hit.
Up smash was doing a lot of work there to try to deny any aerial approach, which we've seen this Mario do. He likes to recover high, so the Magma Cube is such a great option. So is that minecart. Dear God, what a dastardly way to just put your opponent in such a rough position. Nonetheless, these edge guard situations, that's where this Mario gets a lot of their mileage. This time around on the minecart's gonna foil that plan.
Yep, and the dynamite does it there. Now they're trying to build up materials here to upgrade their weapon to have some tougher hits again. And because they're still alive, they actually could get away with it.
They might be able to get all two stocks. As long as you're able to keep snuffing out these recoveries from the Mario. Again, up smash after up smash after up smash. The trap has been set, but the question is, do they fall inside of it?
Yeah, it's a good question here. He's trying to push him into his own trap, but won't be able to at all there in the fight. And there they trade back the stock. Now it is even 1-1.
Dangerous stuff here so far for the Mario. They gotta really stop recovering high. Just go directly to ledge and try to find a means up that way. It's intimidating because of the minecart, but you know what's even worse? An anvil to the dome as St. Joseph rather, continue to leverage their lead.
Indeed. I like how the Enderman came out of the house. It's always the spot where you turn a corner, you're like, oh, you're there now. What are you doing here in my home? I didn't invite you in.
An Enderman as a neighbor does not sound like a you got to call the homeowners association. I imagine Indiana has some sort of legal accords that you can't live with an Enderman. It just doesn't sound like a pleasurable situation. But you also can't live with this stress. No, you want an Enderman roommate? Does that sound good to you?
What? I can't live with a being from a spooky dimension that scares me half to death every day? No.
Doesn't sound ideal to me. Hey, you mentioned King K. Rool, and now we get to see him on the field up next.
Perfect. No, I like this approach here from Speedway. Getting to see a heavy put into play really changes things up in the way this fight is going to take place here. Because what was initially just focusing on lots of dodges and timing the grabs and hits is now going to be set up still with the combos, but the biggest thing here is how you actually sustain yourself, because with King K. Rool, it's not about just heavy hitting, it's also about dealing with his counter for the reflect.
I'm curious to see how the Steve plays it. Is it going to be campy? And I'm curious to see how the King K. Rool plays it as well. Having all these projectiles at your disposal means you can do that just right there. Just escort on the way with that blunderbuss. Second shot, not going to find the mark, but Steve could not get the appropriate punish. But already I'm seeing that same habit we mentioned before. A lot of rolls and a lot of blunderbuss. This is too much damage for Enderman to deal with.
Yes, it is the start, but they are putting in a good bit of work themselves. However, this quick damage in succession is putting them at a huge risk of going off the stage.
Oh no! Oh! Belly armor get absolutely busted. I don't think the wood sword's gonna finish the job there. You gotta bring some heavier armaments. Unfortunately, was not ready with the case, and it's a rising fair to give K. Rool that safety right back. The difference though is these two are in a completely different weight class, Sami. King K. Rool's gonna take a while to die, but a gust of wind is gonna send Enderman flying just like that.
Yep, one big hit here is gonna do him in. I think it's gonna happen right about now. There's the
down
setup,
smash.
but no follow through.
Down smash just a bit off the mark, but at least the shockwave garners you some safety. The blunderbuss right to the back. Says, look at the flowers, Enderman, and shoots him in the back of the head. That's dishonorable, but it gets the job done. Things are all tied up now.
Since when has King K. Rool ever been honorable? He has always been sneaky, deceitful, and evil to the core.
Yeah, gotta say, not a fan of the monarchy here. Down with the king. May he not rule very long. But so far, doing a good job of showing the power of this character in terms of its close range threat as well as its long range. Unfortunately, the Steve, I think, was too honorable in the sense that you can play Steve in a very campy fashion, and it can be incredibly frustrating to deal with, especially as a heavy. They wanted to play things a bit closer to the vest. They wanted to play things a bit more by the book. It costs you the round, so we'll see if the results end up costing you in the long run.
Yes, indeed. Now, I'm curious what the pick is going to be here for the side of St. Joseph. It's Mario again. We have a lot of Mario players today.
You know what? I'm down. I think Mario's a really fun character. I also think that Mario makes combo food out of King K. Rool. There's a platform for this extension, which again, we're on Hollow Bastion, so there is. This should be a pretty easy done deal to get this K. Rool up to 60% quickly, but you gotta first find a way to pop him up for those extensions, so this Mario's gotta look for a grab in the early percents.
Yeah,
ow.
But that's really tough there being sent off stage.
No!
Beyond recoverability. Yeah, again, you gotta react quicker.
I think that their jump got eaten and they didn't know it, but they seem to have tried to recover and realized they didn't have a jump, and then it just was too little too late at that point. Very frustrating and very unfortunate way for St. Joseph to start off this round when things were just gotten on even keel.
Indeed. Oh, the reflect is nice. Gives him a bit of breathing room. Now King K. Rool is on the receiving end.
Forward air was definitely a bit ambitious, but I respect the attempt. It's a recovery in a reversal situation. Now it's the blunderbuss right back at you. Tries to reflect it back, but unfortunately it seems like they got FMJ. Full Metal Jacket goes right through that cape and instead results in that stock loss.
It does. Right now, Mario here really not looking too hot at the moment because they've done a bit of damage, but they've already lost their 2 stocks here. And oh no, not the edge guard combo. It's coming in again.
Oh dear God! Turn away, Zombie. I can't look as Mario gets sent up to the stratosphere. Long may he reign.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. This is why you cannot overthrow the king.
Peasants are going to stay at the bottom of the totem pole for now, it seems like, as the serfs return back to toil in their fields, heads hung in shame. Mario, the people's champion, has fallen.
Yep, and it's not going to be the last here, potentially. Maybe I am foreshadowing this here, but you know what? The way this has been going, it's really showing how well they are handling themselves here in these fights.
Well, I mean, let's think back to the last match and the disparity, right? Where Terry winded through the entire roster. St. Joseph are now fighting back with quite a bit more gumption. But the issue is you're now at a complete character deficit. This hero has to play nigh flawlessly to ensure they have enough left in the tank for the next character still left in the back from Speedway.
Indeed. I mean, you're down to your last player here for St. Joseph. Already looking a lot of damage, but a lot more mobile in comparison to K-Rool, which I think is going to help them out extremely well here in order to keep the pressure on and build up some momentum for them to work with.
It's one last back air to try to get a bit more space. And this hero, at distance, you know what you really want to be using? It's that side B. Zap is such a good option, but this down B instead takes too much time to read through the menu options. These kids are still in school. Their reading comprehension isn't high enough for that, Sami.
Wow, throwing shade, I see.
I'm an English teacher. I can say it.
Fair, you know what? Fair enough. Some are faster readers than other, but there is an average that. And you know what? Right now, for Hero, it's trying to set up using K-Rool's abilities against him, and I like the idea we're seeing. Just a bit of that recovery there needs to play it smart. So
getting up the neutral way there when the blunderbuss was out and the vortex was ready. Not the best decision there. It's going to cost you that first stock. 86%, now 97. K-Rool, with no rage on this hero, is still not liable to die from anything save for a crit or a crazy menu option. This hero's got to build up a bit more percent.
Yeah, they do. And just able to make that dodge there. Great setup, but they need to hit it big here. Either off the menu or just their general heavy attacks.
Oh, I actually really enjoyed the idea of the fully charged up B, but really what you can do is as an out of shield option, that first charge of the up B is a really great way to get off pressure, but you need a bigger option now. At this point, your up B is not going to kill. It's got to come from maybe a side B or just one of your aerials. And you can see they're fishing for it, but they're putting themselves at a great risk to do so. Air dodge down. Do they make it back? Thank God they do.
That is some recovery right there. It is amazing how far down you can go under the stage before you get yourself back on top.
Now, Hero's got quite a lot of tools available to them when it comes to vertical mobility, but what they don't have are easy kill confirms, and that's what you really need right now. Blunderbuss going to be air dodged away, but that puts you in a bad spot. Same with that recovery. Didn't charge the up B long enough, and that means Hero takes a tumble.
Yep, you're down to your final stock here. Will be setting up for almost 200%. I'm amazed that K-Rool still is fighting tooth and nail here against Hero with such confidence.
Well, this hero is a hero, so maybe they could try to find a hero's victory to come back, right? The shonen anime. Unfortunately, seems you have to wait till the next season to try again, buddy. 3-stock victory here for K-Rool. Speedway take it in 2.
Wow. Just, wow. That has been a few perfect flawless rounds there. Being able to hold those stocks off, and that is, I believe, game, set, and match in favor of Speedway.
There was some great bite back there from St. Joseph, but unfortunately, sometimes old dogs got to learn these new tricks a bit quicker or else they get put down. The vet's office is waiting for you. And this time around, they still have some amazing plays to look back on. I would say that they can certainly feel more proud about the development. The evolution between that first series and the second, it's night and day. It's really solid stuff, just wasn't enough.
Indeed. Oh, before we go, we got a few shoutouts that we do want to make here. First and foremost, to LandFest. This broadcast is part of LandFest's Scholastic Esports program, a program that supports this league and many others. Since launching, LANFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to scholastic leagues in Washington and Indiana. We do provide these broadcasts free of charge to the league, schools, and teams that we cover, and your generous donations make it all possible. Every $200 raised covers the operating costs for one regular season broadcast. If you appreciate our work, be sure to scan that QR code on screen and donate today.
Gotta make sure to give the props where they're due. It's the only reason why we are able in the first place to be able to yell in front of mics like this and watch the talented esports athletes go to work and put away some fools. That being said, we still have one more group rather, we want to give a huge shout out to as well. That's our friends at LOS Portal as well, because that is some cool stuff. You want to play in esports in college? Do you? Now you can search hundreds of collegiate esports programs at portal.leagueos.gg. Scholarships exist for players, shoutcasters, that's us, and so much more. So list all your talents. Verified college coaches are searching LOS Portal right now to find you. Yes, you. IHSEN students, make sure to sign in to manage your prospect profile while your stats automatically update. LOS Portal is free, so don't miss your chance to get discovered. Visit portal.leagueos.gg and level up your future.
Well, I'll be sure to check that out some more at a later time. I've been Saminami.
And I've been D'Lo. We've had our friend, our almighty eye in the sky, Taylor, keeping the prod lights on, that cam steady. Please thank our production for all they do. We cannot yell at games without them. And last, but certainly not least, thank you, loyal, obedient viewer, for your time. We hope you enjoyed this series just as much as we have. Keep an eye to the sky for more IEN content coming at you in the future. And until then, good games and good night.